We're going to go over slides 15, 16, and 17. So here we go. Problem number 29. It gives us a formula up top here. And it says that the formula above can be used to approximate the height of an adult male based on the length of the femur. So the height is our H, and the femur is our L. And so what is the meaning of the 1.88? Well, what that means is the 1.88, think about an input value. If we input the length of 5, okay, and I'm just making up a number 5, we would do 1.88 times 5 plus 32.01 to get our height. If we input 6 for L, we would do 1.88 times 6 plus 32.01 and so on. And so what happens is that is the height, the approximate increase in the man's height in inches for each increase in the femur length. So, just kind of interpreting what's going on, I think one good way or a good problem solving method is to just start to plug in things and see what is changing as you are doing that. All right, problem number 30. We have a quadrilateral, ABCD next to us, and it says that AD is parallel to BC, and so therefore it is a trapezoid. Now they could have just said, instead of saying it's quadrilateral, could have just said it's a trapezoid, but we have to figure that out from the information. What we're trying to find is the measure of angle B. Well, looking at it, I'm gonna say it's not 90. Now I know that when they read you the rules for the SAT, they will always say that that pictures are not drawn to scale. That's true, but they really try to draw them to scale. So even though we can't totally bank on that information, you can kind of bank on that information. They really try and be accurate with the pictures. They just might not be down to the exact degree angle. So I have a 1 in 3 chance of guessing now. So it says that this is important information right here, that CD is 1/2 of AB. And so what that means, like if CD was X, AB would be 2X. Now here's the key. If I were to look at B and drop down like a perpendicular here, that then gives me, I know that this is X, right? Because it's the same as this guy. And so then this is now a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Remember the X, 2X, X root 3 idea? And since it's a 30, 60, 90, the side across from the 30 is the X and the side across from the 90 is the 2X. That means that this is 60 degrees. And I drew a perpendicular was 90 degrees. Therefore, this entire angle would be 150 degrees. Okay? So we have to find out, I have to kind of cut that up. All right, if you have any questions, please make sure you guys just yell them out. Problem number 31. Now we get into the fill in the blank types of questions. Remember, these are still calculator questions. And so it says that Lynn has $8 to spend on apples and oranges. Apples are 65 cents. Oranges are 75 cents. No tax in this case. And she bought 5 apples. So this is a big deal that we know she bought 5 apples at 65 cents each. And so I could do that. 5 times 60 cents would be $3, and 5 would be 25 cents. So that's $3.25 she spent on apples. Okay. And this is a calculator question. Of course, I could use my calculator to do 5 times 65 cents. So if she had $8 and she spent $3.25 on apples, if I did 8 minus $3.25, 8 minus 3 would be $5.25 less than that, means she has $4.75 left to spend on oranges. Oranges are 75 cents each. So I could do 4.75 divided by 75 on my calculator. it wants us to know the maximum number of whole oranges she could buy. You got to be careful if you do that because it's not a round up or round down situation. You would always round down in that case. And maybe I'll show you why here. If there's 75 cents each, so two of them are $1.50. So two is $1.50. So that means for two more, that's another $1.50. And one more, that would be 75 cents. And whoops, nuts. I could do two more, couldn't I? I could get two more for another $1.50. So that would be $4. That would be $4.50 if I bought six of them. I still have a quarter left over, but I can't buy a whole orange. And so therefore I have six of those that I can purchase. Now, when you're filling in your answer, I'm just going to put six, fill in the bubble, and that's it. Okay. Don't put like 0006. You don't need to do that. In fact, don't do that because it could mark it wrong. You don't need to fill in anything up here, no zeros or anything like that. It could either be right, justified, or you actually could put the 6 on the left-hand side. Okay, but I would suggest putting it on the other side. Okay. For our next problem, a little more geometry here. In the triangle, it says that A is 34. What is the value of B plus C? Well, if that's 34 degrees, and I know that all of the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180, that means B plus C plus 34 has to be 180. So B plus C has to be 180 minus 34. So that would be what, 146, right? 180 minus 30 would be 150. Subtract 4 more would be 146. So what is the value of B plus C? It would be 146. And again, you can justify it any way. Even though my other problem was right justified and this is left justified, that's fine. Don't put 0.0, even though it's not space for it. Don't put the decimal there or anything. You don't need to do any of that stuff, okay? Just the numbers. Number 33, if the mean, you should know what that is. That's the average, okay? The mean is the average. And when they throw in stats in there, they love the mean and the median, by the way, which is the middle number. The mode is less popular. That's the most frequent number, but it's less popular in terms of them asking that on the question. So the mean is 1600. What's the value of X? You could do this a couple of ways. One way would be to find the average of 5 numbers. We add them together, 700 plus 1200 plus 1600 plus 2000 plus X, add them up and divide by 5 to solve for X. Okay. And then to do that, so I would do 1600 times 5. So this is calculator. So that's not what I want. Sorry, guys. So I have 8,000, right? So, and I add all of these up. So I have 700 and 1200, 1600 and 2000. So we could use our calculator, of course, or 2000, that's 3600. That's 46, 4800, and 48 and 7 would be 5500. So 5500 plus X. And then I just do my 8,000 minus 5,500, and I get 2,500. Okay?
Wait, isn't this an inequality? Because it says it has to be above 1600. So wouldn't it be like 2,501? So that's above 1600.
Good question here, Jaden. Good catch. All right, let me read this carefully. If the mean of the 5 numbers above, okay, so
Oh,
yeah,
above
it's
is not is
the 5
above.
numbers above,
Never
not the
mind.
mean is above.
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
No, thanks for pointing out because when you said it, I read it the way you were saying it also. So yeah, but it is just saying the numbers above. So what was our answer? 2,500, I think, right? So 2,500. Whoops, don't do that. Where are my zeros? They're there. Okay, and hopefully you guys are better at filling in circles than I am. You've taken way more standardized tests than I have. I can tell you that much. So another way you could do it though is, and you may not notice this, but 1,600 actually is like the middle number. And if that's the average, you may notice that this is 400 more and that's 400 more or 400 less. And so if 1,600 was going to be right in the middle, that would be like, that's 900 less. So this has to be 900 more, which is 2,500. That would be an easier way to do it. And a lot of times they do set us up with nice numbers like that. All right, let's do number 34. We're getting there, guys. The relationship between x and y can be written as a y equals mx if y is 17 when x is a. So I plugged in 17 for y and a for x. This is kind of like that variation question. I'm going to solve that for m. M is 17 over a. Says, what is the value of y when x is 2a? So now I want to do y equals my m. I'm using this again. So my m is 17 over a times my x, which is 2a. I cancel those, and y is then 17 times 2, which is 34. Okay. And I should practice good habits here. I did not write in my number up here. We should definitely do that. All right, one more slide. Any questions on that one before I go to the last slide? All right, good. Stick with me here, guys. In the equation above, A and B are constants. Don't be afraid of that term. It just means they're numbers, okay? People say constant, I don't know what that is, and then they just go on and guess. Okay, you're never going to guess in a free response question. So if the equation has infinitely many solutions, what is the value of B? If it has infinitely many solutions, remember that means that the left side and the right side are the same thing. That's really key. So that means that if the left side is going to equal the right side, I know that A has to be 4. Because then that would give me 4x plus 4b equals the right side, right? 4x plus 10. And so now I'm trying to solve for b. So I set this equal to this. 4b is equal to 10. So b is 10 over 4. Now you should reduce that if you're going to write it as a fraction. So it will be 5 over 2. So one thing you could do is 5 slash 2. Okay. That would be one way to write your answer. You could also get the decimal of that, which is 2.5. That would be another way to put it in there. So any of those would be okay. Problem 36, it says in the XY plane, the line y equals c. I know that that is a horizontal line. So a horizontal line intersects the parabola in exactly 1 point. Well, how could that be? How can you intersect a parabola in exactly 1 point? Well, the only way that happens, because this parabola opens downward, would be as if it hits it right at the vertex. So this question is really saying, can I find the vertex of this and then interpret the question? So I'm going to use my calculator to do that. I could do the x equals negative b over 2a, but I'm going to use my calculator. So negative x squared plus 5x is our equation. So let me go to the graph, and it was negative x squared. It was plus 5x, I believe. I should double check before I screw that up. All right, and there it is. And so I want to find the maximum of that. So I'm going to go to analyze graph, look for the maximum. Okay, and there it is. Now the question was, what is C? I need a horizontal line that goes through there. That means that C is 6.25. Because if I were to graph y equals 6.25, notice that is a line that intersects it at exactly 1 point. Okay, so that means that our C value is 6.25. I don't even have any work to write on that one. And I'll write that up top here. And we are almost done, guys. 2 more. And then we are done with our math portion of the SAT. So this is one of those questions where we have a couple of things, a couple of questions related. It says the peregrine falcon, I think I'm pronouncing that right, can reach speeds up to 200 miles per hour to catch its prey. So for problem 37, we want to change it from miles per hour into feet per second. So we have 200 miles in 1 hour, and I need to change that into feet per second. So you can thank your science teachers if you know how to convert this. We need to convert first the miles, and I should write mile because if I put M, it means meters, right? So I want to convert miles into feet. So I'm going to do 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And the reason I wrote the mile on the bottom here is because then my miles cancel and I have feet left. So I've converted miles into feet, but I also have to convert hours into seconds. So I know that I'm going to put my hour on top. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So that's going to cancel out my hours, but now I'm in minutes, which I also need to convert to seconds. So 1 minute is 60 seconds, and then my minutes cancel. And that would be how we would convert it. You multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom and then divide them. So I have on top, I had 200 plus 5,280, and then divided by 60. Oop, I hit plus. I don't want plus, I want times. 60 times 60. And remember, if I hit enter, it's going to give me this fraction. Be careful, because the question says round your answer to the nearest whole number. If it says round it, we need the decimal approximation. So on your fancy TI Nspire calculators, remember you have to hit Control Enter to get an approximate answer of 293.3. So to the nearest whole number, that is 293. So wouldn't it be a shame to do that problem totally correctly and then, write the fraction and not get credit for it because the fraction would not be to the nearest whole second? Okay, and we did not put any units either. We don't need to do that. Okay, last one here. So if the Falcon dove at its maximum speed for a half mile, how many seconds would the dive take? So it's going to go a half mile. Well, let's see. We know that it went, what was it, 293 feet in 1 second. And we want to know how long it's going to take to go a half mile. Well, it told us earlier that a mile was 5,280 feet. So a half mile would be 5,280 divided by 2 would be 2,640 feet. And if he's going 293 feet per second, I'm going to divide that by 293 or 293.3 repeating. Either way, you'll get the same answer at 9 seconds. And so that then would take 9 seconds. All right, any questions on that last page?